Cities unite! Lights ignite!
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down a really fascinating piece of source material from the footballing world. It's a wildly ambitious, comprehensively argued prediction for the entire 2026 World Cup bracket. The creator of our source material has taken on the massive task of forecasting this tournament from the very first whistle, literally all the way to the trophy lift. And we're going to unpack their entire vision, step by step. Okay, let's dive into this, because the sheer magnitude of the 2026 tournament is honestly staggering. Our source rightly calls this the biggest sporting event in human history. We're looking at a sprawling 39-day, 104-game footballing marathon spread across 3 host nations, the US, Canada, and Mexico. The logistics alone are completely dizzying, but the on-pitch drama, that's what we're really here for. And that drama is amplified by an unprecedented number: 48. 48 nations will be competing. That's a massive expansion from previous tournaments that creates a colossal, frankly chaotic funnel right down to the final match. It all starts with 12 groups of 4, where even 8 of the third-place teams will survive just to see the knockout rounds. Now, even with that expanded format, our source doesn't foresee much early friction for the traditional powerhouses. They're basically expected to breeze right through. The creator predicts traditional juggernauts like Brazil, France, Spain, as well as Messi's Argentina and Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal, are all going to top their respective groups without breaking much of a sweat. But, of course, it wouldn't be a proper football prediction without a few spicy hot takes, right? When assessing Group G, our source doesn't pull any punches at all, bluntly labeling the Belgian squad as frauds, though they do still begrudgingly admit Belgium has enough firepower to win their opening group. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is our source's eye for Cinderella stories. Every World Cup needs them, and they've identified some fantastic potential dark horses. The creator specifically champions Cabo Verde, a small Atlantic island nation making its first ever World Cup appearance, predicting they'll actually secure a third-place finish and advance to the knockouts alongside the Giants. So, once the group stage dust finally settles, we enter uncharted territory for the modern World Cup. The round of 32. This newly introduced first knockout round is where the pace suddenly shifts. The frantic group stage energy kind of slows down, and the stakes get definitively, undeniably higher as it becomes a single elimination tournament. A major storyline our source highlights in this first knockout round is the survival of the hosts. The creator predicts that the United States, Mexico, and Canada will actually all win their round of 32 matches. But importantly, they attribute this success strictly to the immense power of home field advantage, pushing them past teams like Egypt, Ivory Coast, and the Czech Republic. But that home field magic is put to the ultimate test as we transition to the round of 16. This is where the bracket rapidly begins to shrink, forcing massive, highly anticipated international clashes that usually wouldn't happen until much, much deeper in the tournament. Right out of the gate in the round of 16, we get an absolute titan of a matchup, Germany versus France. Our source, despite being a self-proclaimed Germany fan, mind you, predicts a devastating loss for the German squad here. The reasoning? Well, the creator believes France's attacking front 3 of Mbappé, Olise, and Dembélé will just be entirely unstoppable for the German defense. And hey, remember those surviving host nations? This is where their fairy tale abruptly ends. Predicting the United States matchup against Argentina, the creator really doesn't mince words, delivering this blunt assessment: there's not a chance on earth they're beating Argentina. The source firmly believes the U.S. host run will hit a brick wall when faced with Lionel Messi and the reigning World Cup champions. Now, while the big favorites generally advance, the round of 16 does offer one massive predicted upset. Remember the source's earlier comments on Belgium? Well, here's where it catches up to them. The creator strongly believes that Turkey's rising squad, featuring incredible talents like Arda Güler and Hakan Çalhanoğlu, will completely knock the veteran Belgian team out of the tournament. Let's move to and see how this builds, because the dust settles, and we arrive at the quarterfinals, the Elite 8. The tension in the sources bracket is absolutely palpable here, with every single remaining matchup looking like it could be a potential tournament final. First up is a colossal cross-continental clash, with the source predicting an England victory over the South American giants, Brazil. Interestingly, the creator openly admits their reluctance as a Germany fan to predict this English side, who are now managed by a German coach, by the way, to win here. But they concede England simply has what it takes to advance.
But the absolute jewel of the quarterfinals, according to our sources bracket,
is this match right here. It's the ultimate showdown of a footballing generation. Lionel Messi versus Cristiano Ronaldo, both potentially playing in their final World Cup, meeting head-to-head on the biggest stage imaginable. And the creator definitely does not shy away from a bold, decisive prediction for this historic matchup. They are confidently calling for Portugal to abruptly end Argentina's title defense right here in the quarterfinals. That means ending Messi's dream of back-to-back trophies and sending Ronaldo's squad straight to the Final Four. So that stunning result leaves us with a completely fascinating dynamic for the semifinals. The final four teams predicted by the source are entirely European. This sets up two massive regional clashes between nations with really deep historic footballing rivalries. The first semifinal pits eternal enemies against one another, France and Spain. According to the source, this is where Spain's journey concludes. The creator definitively predicts a victory for an incredibly deep, individually brilliant French squad, marching them straight into the grand finale. In the second semifinal, we see England facing off against Portugal. Now, while acknowledging England has a slightly better squad on paper, the source believes the English team will tragically falter on the big stage yet again. They predict England will fall back into their historical tournament struggles, sending a highly motivated Portugal through. And literally, just like that, we've navigated through 102 matches of the source's predicted bracket. The narrative tension has built to an absolute climax. Two nations remain standing out of the initial 48, ready to battle for the greatest prize in human sports. So, the crucial point is the historic magnitude of this final clash, France versus Portugal. This isn't just a battle between two elite squads. It's a matchup completely drenched in recent footballing history and deeply personal international stakes. To understand why this is so huge, we have to look at the narrative weight the source places on this specific matchup. It's a direct rematch of the Euro 2016 final. Remember that? A game where an underdog Portugal shocked France on their home soil in Paris. The creator predicts France will arrive at this 2026 World Cup final desperately, ferociously looking for revenge. Which brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? After analyzing the groups, the chaotic knockouts, the heavyweights, and the heartbreak, who actually lifts the 2026 World Cup trophy according to this meticulous bracket prediction? The source firmly predicts Portugal as your 2026 World Cup champions, and the reasoning goes beyond just narrative. The creator points out that Portugal recently won the Nations League by beating heavyweights like Germany and Spain. They currently possess one of the best squads on the planet right now, and they're relentlessly driven by Cristiano Ronaldo's ultimate career-capping ambition. It's a brilliant, wildly entertaining prediction from our source material that perfectly captures the thrill of tournament football. But what do you think? Will this bold, step-by-step vision actually come true exactly as predicted? Or will a completely unforeseen dark horse steal the show and rewrite the bracket entirely? We're just going to have to wait for 2026 to find out. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.
Unite! Lights ignite! Hearts beat like a drum tonight!